This conference will now be recorded.
At 7 p.m., we will call to order the January 18th Tilton Budget Committee meeting. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right, you guys ready yet, or? Yeah, you're the first on the agenda. Oh, you want the mic stand?
This is all right.
Okay, great.
Do you have any questions at the start? Probably
Um,
the easiest way.
Well, I guess you just have some increase areas, but
Yeah, the big ones all belong to one group,
yes, yeah.
the
What is
state of
that?
confusion,
Is that the state?
the treatment plant.
Yeah, right.
And what gets fun with the treatment plant is they don't always bill consistently. We've had years where we paid 3/4 on some and then the next year 5. So that's one issue we have.
Yeah.
Another issue is trying to project out in the future. We've got this coming year's cost. We don't see the others. There was an article about a month ago in the Laconia Daily Sun. The city of Laconia was looking at over 5 years, something like a 50% increase in their cost to the users. So that's the biggest nuggets in our budget.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much out of our control. Unless you don't flush, because it's based on usage.
Okay. Well, you could send out a letter for everybody. That would increase your postage.
But if you look across, you'll see some go up, some stay the same, some may go down a bit. So I just figured I'd open up to you guys.
Sure, yeah. Anybody have questions?
One other thing I can add is we're currently working with a consultant to develop a plan on adjusting our rates for these increases and all. So we don't have any information back on that at this point.
Okay, that's right. I did see that item for
Consultant line, if you noticed,
yeah.
we hadn't planned. That's why we spent a little this year and then the line last year and the line shares this year.
Is the electricity the pump houses?
Again, don't flush.
Wasn't able to open this in my program at work, so I didn't really go over it. What is there a scratched out estimate here for Tilton? Is that?
Those are highlights.
Oh, that's a highlight. Okay. I can't read it. Oh, it's at 2026, 135.
Yes. Black and white.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring my glasses. What would you without those state increases, do you have much of an increase in the budget? Besides the consultant, I mean, the consultant seems to be
That would have tossed back to Johanna. Let me look quickly.
your postage and electricity and yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I did go through this quickly and notice that.
If we had a better grip on what projects we could upgrade. Vision, you know,
Mhm.
the road committee.
Right.
Go back and
Have you talked to,
there used to be the full inventory. So we're, you know, it's tough for us to plan.
have you talked to Kevin Duval at all? Or? He's usually fairly up
Well, here's an
on,
example, Bill, is Upper Academy. Still no record. We jumped into that hard, probably more than whatever but we mobilized, you know.
what is wrong with that street anyways? I never even,
Well, this, you know,
okay.
laying out from gas pipe. Did all our stuff trenchless. Where the pipe is and everything, so we did our part, but now the road's not done, so maybe, you know.
Well, it's extenuating circumstances,
Yeah,
it sounds
so
like.
street, a better long ball vision. So, then we, some of our maintenance is reactionary, not proactive.
Yeah, sure.
That's the other big ticket. If we weren't getting it from the treatment plant, and then a lot of reorganization and flow metering and all that, we hadn't been getting that from the state side. Heavily investing into, you know, project,
Mhm.
at least pipe replacement and some of the, you know.
Sure.
kind of stuff.
So if I could just say, like with Academy Street, the town was also ready to go forward a while back, but um, we were thwarted because of the access and the issues surrounding an agreement between the water district and the town for access to the wall on their property. So that's been ongoing. The Board of Selectmen had a meeting with the water district and the commissioners, and in any case, it's, we were kind of in the same boat. We were ready to go, had spent some money getting ready to get the work done, and we had to, hurry up and wait.
So what we,
But there's also a plan that Director Duval has.
so what was raised and appropriated? We don't have to raise and appropriate, we can actually kind of let off our gas as far as the road budget, raised and appropriated that, and that money's still in that. It seems to be that we raise and appropriate for roads and bridges, and we don't always do all the projects that we say we're gonna do each year.
Well, I'd leave that to Director Duval to answer, but we do put the money in each year. The money that was allocated for Academy Street wasn't spent, but will be as soon as things clear up. Yeah.
Costs are gonna go up. Yep.
Back to the road plan issue. We got noticed in late winter about this year's projects. We can't do anything at that point. It's way too late. We were given previous directors. We had every road listed, when it was last done, when it was going to be done by year. We got a new plan with a 5-year plan. So in the next 5 years, we're doing all these streets. Well, which ones do I budget for this year versus next year and the year after? I can't start planning. So
You mean the paving schedule? Yeah, okay. Did you have something?
Yeah, so the other issue, and I'm going to throw them under the bus. The water district complicated the paving that we were supposed to do in the upper part of Prospect, et cetera. So to me, it sounds like what we need to do is get all three into a room and be able to have them sort out what they need, because the water district thwarted that. And it's only going to keep coming because as you know, their infrastructure is as aged as your infrastructure is. So to me, it sounds like, and I've mentioned this before in our meetings, that what we need to do is get all three into a room and sort it out and be able to plan it out so that fiscally all three can budget what they need to budget, so that we can then, get a complete paving from the town side of it. You can get your work done. Water can get their work done. We can get the full roads paved so that we don't have to wait on that stuff. So I will make mention of it. I've got it noted here.
Yeah, for the subcontractors, water, sewer, we need like almost a year out, because part of it, we got to know who's going in first, whatever. But also, if we're going for bids this time of year or later, most of the contractors have their early work filled up, so the price will start going up.
Great, thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a clarity. Just hope we can get that worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other questions, Peter or the committee? Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, yeah. Thank you.
I didn't want to force it. I do that on my car and I get yelled at by my
Yeah.
man. You're racing too hard.
Okay, so we're going to review Lockmere.
Tim, you've been offering Lockmere assistance, right? Trying to help them get the books straightened out.
There was one year where DRA asked me to help out to do that. Yeah, and I did, because we're way past the deadline for the state forms, and but I didn't have access to any of their financial information. I just had to help them balance the report correctly for DRA.
They seem like they're on a good path. They just need some fine tuning.
Right, what I recall, there wasn't a heck of a lot of, it was just, mostly chemicals type of thing. The budget was around 52, right? Oh, no, that's the income. Total expenses equal the income, which is what happens with sewer and water. It seems like most of the increase to me was most with the chemicals and the new hiring someone to dispense them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
I think it's a good beginning with them and us, but it's hard because I don't have last year's or the year before's to have a comparative.
Right. I think last year's was like
They've got-
48 or something.
I was they have a lot of money in their expendable trust, but hearing that they're gonna have to use that to pay for the new system to get rid of those pollutants made sense rather than putting it on the users all in 1 year. So we'll see. I think the expenses they listed are reasonable.
If we get an idea of what the user fee would how that would be impacted? I don't remember if but the budget is up like 10%, so maybe it's a 10%.
They said they would have to increase their fees, but not by
Yeah.
not by a lot,
No.
because they will use that expendable trust money. I did find it interesting that DES isn't concerned about where it came from.
Could we entertain a motion to accept their budget?
Seconded.
So moved. Yeah.
Did I hear a motion down there?
She seconded it.
Oh,
Seconded.
So I
second
basically
Bill's
said,
motion?
should we have a motion?
Like it.
Yeah, okay. I'll move that.
Slid him right in.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. All right. I guess, any other business?
Yes.
The
Your update.
public hearing?
Well, I also wanted to go through a couple of things that are going to be
Okay,
presented to
right.
the board tomorrow.
Right,
And
that's right.
were you planning on voting on sewer tonight?
I don't think we can. We don't have enough people.
Well, we have 4, I guess.
Well, then you also have changes that were made to
To the sewer?
the budget.
No, I'm asking about sewer.
Right,
Before you
but there's
move on.
also the change. You've given us the document that shows there's been changes made to what we voted on last week.
No changes were made to what you voted on. These were just changes to the department request column that the Board of Selectmen will review tomorrow night and it's presented for the budget committee to see. And I can go through those now if you like. I was just asking if you were prepared to vote on sewer. I was being Lisa for a minute to see.
Still have work to do is what I'm getting at.
Do you want to study it more, their budget, or?
I don't need to. I'm a sewer
No,
commissioner.
Seems to me,
I
yeah,
looked at it.
it's mostly those.
It's the state. It's the
Yeah,
impact.
right,
I had a chance to look at it extensively today, so.
Yeah. So you want to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion that we accept the Tilton Sewer Commission budget for 2023.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Say
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Those opposed? Yeah. Okay, 1 abstention. Great. Okay,
So if you give me a few minutes, I can
Sure.
bring you up to date as to what the changes were and why. So there's an actual net addition of $10,788 to this, the department request column from your last budget. And the major areas are, or these are the areas that make up this difference. So in janitorial, there was a move to have administration review the janitorial services contract for the PD and town hall, but only if they were providing the same services with a modest increase. And they came back with a 10% increase, which is reflected in the department request column. And that works out to be now keep in mind, we had already budgeted for lesser services in January. So this is over February through December is the 10% increase. So when you look at the total increase for the year over year, it doesn't say 10% because of that January factor, but In any event, it's a $9,300 increase for the town hall, an $18,000 increase for the police department. A full year cost, if we were to budget this over a full year cost, would be $31,092. In Public Works, the director was able to hire his two laborers and truck drivers, and as a result, because of the actual wages, benefits, and so forth, there was a decrease of $7,092, and that's over 8 different lines. And you'll see within the budget itself, there's a big black mark where the notes or changes are in this budget. So that spreads over 8 different lines. And then there's an $8,000 decrease in street lighting. We got our first full street lighting bills for our large system power bills, and they're very favorable to the point where I felt comfortable being able to take an additional $8,000 out of that line. And if you recall, the last time I was asked about our large system power bills, we had just gotten a huge credit for a period of time and then a charge for a period of time, and they had to send it in a FedEx package, and it was about almost 3/4 of an inch thick. So to really see a true representation of what a month was, this was much closer to what I'm used to seeing. The only thing is that it splits between December and January, so not all the increased distribution costs are there, but I felt comfortable enough in reducing that $8,000. In addition, in the PD budget, there was an item under equipment maintenance, repairs, and tech that was budgeted at $6,100. That was for Cellbrite, which is the cell phone capturing system. And we were able to actually relicense that for a lesser amount of $4,880 because of the way we did it, directly through Cellbrite and not through their new sales and marketing arm. And then the last item is in looking at the town hall maintenance and repairs line and the issues surrounding that have been discussed in the past. The administration is going to be proposing to the board that if the town infrastructure capital reserve fund passes at town meeting, that will be funded with $20,000 and make the selectmen agents. That then if the board is in agreement, then there would be a move to reduce the town hall maintenance and repairs line by $15,000. So reflective of the fact that they would have access to that money if needed to be able to, follow through on repairs. And then also, I just left in the youth assistance program the issue that the board just had not voted on that. So keep that in mind as you look at the budget itself. So those were the changes. And as I said, they are, as you thumb through the budget itself, you'll see that there are, in the column that says need info, there's a black square. And on page 3, I've noted the town hall janitorial. On page 4, I've noted the note for the town hall building infrastructure, capital reserve fund, that we would seek to reduce that. And again, these have not been reviewed by the board or approved by the board. These are still in the department request column. And then as you look at Public Works on page 8, you'll see that there's all those 8 different lines that pertain to wages, health, dental, Medicare, life, disability, retirement, so on and so forth. And then on page 9 is the reduction in street lighting. And then page 11 is the revision for the Cellbrite license, which now reads $4,880, which was the purpose of the reduction of that. Page 12 is the increase in the janitorial for PD. And then page 13 was the remainder of that youth assistance item that the board still needs to vote on because they did need more information. They haven't met since the 5th. And I think that I had mentioned, but if I hadn't in the past, the board did at their 5th meeting increase the road, streets, bridges, sidewalks from 75,000 to 90,000. But I'm pretty certain that I reviewed that last week. And that was just to keep it consistent with what townspeople expect to put in and also provide enough money, for those roads.
That's a warrant article, right?
That's a warrant article. Those are all warrant articles, yeah. And those are on the next to the last, that's on the very back page of this, this booklet. So, so I guess the question is, the board will be meeting tomorrow night, and I'll be asking them to make decisions on these items. They may or may not change. They may or may not adopt them. So the question would be, do you want to meet next week? Since you have a partial board tonight, I would presume you don't want to vote on these tonight. But if you meet next week, you'd have the opportunity to vote prior to, and having a completed budget prior to the public hearing on
Well, I
the
think we
1st.
could definitely take a vote on the decreases, because I like decreases.
Okay. So if you add all these up, it's like a wash? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
so
No, it adds
it comes out
10,000.
to a $10,788 increase overall.
Okay.
If you subtract the decreases from the janitorial increases.
Right. So the net of all those changes is 10,788. And that does not include the $15,000.
That's what I was
That
including in here, because that would make it practically
Right.
zero.
It's not. So the idea is to make it contingent upon the passage of that warrant article.
Okay.
But we could
Yeah,
actually, if we could vote on the decreases tonight, but we could actually vote on those increases. Well, the bottom one is warrant article. We already voted on.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the top one we could vote on at the public hearing. Could we not?
Oh, you can vote on them anytime.
Sure. Yeah, we
Anytime
can
you
vote
like.
them all at that point if you want.
Well, I'd like to vote on the decreases. I don't want those to slip by.
We'll make a motion.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we decrease our voted on budget amount of $5,593,414. The decrease of 7,592, a decrease of 8,000, and another decrease of 1,220. And I didn't figure out what the total would be. That's why I made the motion that way.
I have 16,812.
I mean, I think the
Yes.
motion's fine.
Yep.
16,812 is the total.
So we could take that 16,812 total from the
What was the total
16,812.
after we subtract it?
16. Oh, I don't know. I didn't do that. Tim will get that.
See, I
for us.
figured that finance officer, but I would do that later. He's an expert at that stuff.
It looks like 5,576,602.
What was it again?
$5,576,602.
That's my motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Can you repeat who made the motion?
Catherine,
Catherine.
seconded.
Second. Okay.
So we have decided on the date for public hearing, right? I didn't make a note of that, so I don't have any minutes. So What did we decide on?
February 1st.
February 1st?
Yep.
Okay, let me write that down now.
And it was submitted to the paper.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And so, and at that point, we see warrant articles?
Right. Yeah, I would imagine you may have them prior to that. Are you planning to meet next week?
I don't have a reason
We
to.
don't really have a reason to, yeah.
Okay.
Motion,
We're all set?
Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn second.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right.